We've all experienced them. Awful connectivity, game crashes, game-ruining bugs, broken environments, and bugs that make the whole experience 1000% funnier. Today we're going to be talking about why Forza H5 is so very broken. I'm Fail, and feel free to subscribe and enable notifications if you enjoy this video. Before we get into why, we should probably talk about what the problem is. As anyone who's played Forza Horizon 5 can tell you, while it's certainly playable, the experience suffers from a variety of bugs, ranging from major issues such as the so-called rewind glitch and cars clipping through the track in the Hot Wheels paid DLC, to weird little things like loads of trees being floating objects, checkpoints in street races being pixelated, and the camera going through cars in the drag race loading cinematic. The last of which makes me wonder if they tested it at all, and if they did, why didn't they change it? It surely wouldn't have taken that much time. You might say, well, that's not a high priority fix, is it? But then what is high priority? It's certainly not game-breaking bugs like the so-called rewind glitch, which leaves you stuck in the rewind animation for tens of seconds, or sometimes even minutes, as that is on Forza's public list of issues FH5 won't fix or are by design. A link to this list will be in the description down below, it's quite an interesting read. So the reason Forza is so broken is clear. The devs won't fix it. Is it a lack of passion? With a bunch of devs such as creative director Mike Brown recently ditching Playground Games to start their own studio, and the anniversary update that was just insulting to fans of the previous games, it's certainly a possibility. However, there's a much more likely explanation. It's just not worth it. In terms of money, relatively speaking, there probably isn't that much money to be made with the base game anymore. It's been out for a long time now, and most of the people who are going to buy it have either already done so or will buy it anyway. To verify my statement, I put up a poll on Reddit and asked the Forza community how long they'd have the game. Here are the results. Adjusting for the fact that 2023's only just started, it actually looks quite strong. On the other hand, it's probably only the extremely enthusiastic and very new Forza players who spend their time on Forza subreddits, so that's not actually that impressive in my opinion. The basic equation for monetary profit is a simple one. Money made minus money spent. The goal of a company should be to optimise this. And at this point in the game's life cycle, the way to optimise that is by spending money on things that will actually make money. And fixing bugs surely won't generate as much money as adding new features and cars to sell the game with. Now in this regard, the genius of whoever is in charge over there at Forza has to be commended. Selling recycled content as new is just brilliant in terms of income minus expense. Name one thing that Forza Horizon 5 has added recently that isn't a car, of which there aren't many either, to be honest, because I can't. While we're on the subject of recycled content, another issue we have is that there's an extremely vocal part of the Forza community who will insult and criticise any criticism of the game as if you're insulting a religion's god. If you're one of these people, just stop and think for a second. You like Forza, right? If the criticism focuses on specific aspects rather than a simple "Forza bad," surely you'd also gain from Forza being told off about stuff. Because if enough people complain, in theory, Forza would improve. The only hiccup in my explanation for Forza's brokenness being lack of monetary profit from fixing bugs is Xbox Game Pass, or rather the lack of transparency regarding how Microsoft-owned game studios are paid by it. Xbox chief Phil Spencer spoke to The Verge in late 2020 on the subject, full interview linked below. He explains that the deals Xbox makes are based on the developer's needs. For example, a small to mid-sized developer might take an upfront payment to finance the development of a game, whereas others want a monthly payment or payment based on usage of their product. As of this point, everything I say is speculation, but I honestly can't see an upfront payment applying to Forza. And as it's a huge title, it's probably more beneficial to Game Pass than Game Pass is to it. And I just can't see Playground being paid by playtime rather than a fixed monthly payment. And if they're getting paid anyway, why fix a game in an attempt to keep players sticking around? At this point, the main thing Forza has going for it is the lack of competition. Where are we supposed to go if we're not happy with Forza Horizon 5? Unless you want a very arcadey Need for Speed with its own set of issues, or The Crew 2, which is quite old at this point, the only place you can really go is previous Forza games, or into hibernation while you wait and hope that test drive will be good. On that note, if you have any opinions, feel free to leave a comment. I'm very interested in what you have to say, and don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and have a nice day. Thank you for watching.